Next on the list is that I love wisdom, especially from people who are wiser than me. So, all of my life, I've looked up to people who are older than me. I did dance for about 4 years. I did hip hop dance classes, and I was 9 years old, surrounded by a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds. And by doing that, I kind of observed how they were interacting, what they were doing, and I just looked up to them so much and wanted to be them, and I wanted to be older. And my mom and her friends, I'm really close with my neighbor and his son, and all his friends were like 20, 25 when I was just starting high school, and I would hang out with them every single night, talking with them, and I just felt like I was one of them. And I just loved hearing their wisdom and hearing their experiences, because I was so young at the time. I didn't go through anything that they had been through, so it was so interesting to just hear their stories. And I feel like I just take in a lot of what they told me and apply it to my own life now. And now that I'm 19, I look up to the people who are 30 and look up to them. And I feel like just for the rest of my life, I'll always be trying to collect as much wisdom as possible from the elders in my life. So yeah.
It helps you speed up your success when you learn from people that have kind of been through it before, because then you don't have to reinvent the wheel. They made all the mistakes. They stepped on all the landmines.
Especially having an older sister who made all the mistakes before me. I got to watch her and her friends and learn from them so that I didn't make the same mistakes that they made.
Yeah, it helps you accomplish things in a shorter period of time than most people do, because you can learn from other people's. There's a quote that's on my website that talks about that. It's right near the email sign-up box, and it talks about how, I think it's a Chinese proverb, a conversation with a wise man is worth more than a month's study of books, something along those lines. And it's true, because when you talk to people that have been around the block or they're more successful in something, you literally model their success. You find out what are the differences that make the difference. How do they accomplish what they accomplish? How they achieve the life they've achieved? And because when you apply the same philosophy or mindset, you get the same results that they do. Mm-hmm. Instead of beating your head against the wall for 15, 20 years to learn the same kind of things they do, you can literally learn in minutes what took somebody decades to figure out.
And what I was about to say, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't agree with it. I was going to say movies and watching people make their mistakes in movies, I could learn from that. But a lot of movies are like a false reality of what life is actually like. So now that I'm thinking about it, movies actually don't prove anything. And learning from real people and real stories actually benefit me more. I was thinking of High School Musical and how that definitely, like, their mistakes, like, that's not real life stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Corey teaches every single day.
Yeah.
Is
real stories of people asking.
Is like everybody watches TV and movies. It's a false reality of the world. It's like you're sending you on the wrong path.
It's some fantasy of what some geek that sat in the back of class in high school wanted to happen but didn't happen. And then, of course, he writes a screenplay about it that gets made. And everybody's like, oh, it's so beautiful. And you get you see that same meme or theme thousands of times from the time you're a little boy or a little girl till you grow up. And you believe it. And if you come from a fucked up, dysfunctional family where you didn't learn the right way to show up, then you think that's real world. And you go out and you try to emulate it.
Yeah, and a lot of people watch these movies and think that that's what love actually is. But in reality, it's not what love is at all. And it's fake. And it's what we probably wish love was. But it's not at all. But that's a whole nother topic. Yeah. I'm talking about myself. I watched those movies and thought that's what love was. But okay. I love listening to other people's musical creations. So this kind of goes back to the I love listening to music topic, but instead I'm looking at it from more of a production standpoint. So there's music and there's lyrics, but when you actually listen to the music, you hear the percussion and you hear the drums and the guitar and all the elements that kind of create the music itself. And it's just so cool to listen to it all come together, or watching someone create it and hearing the first beat of the drum and then hearing the entire song as a whole, and you still hear that beat of the drum in it. I don't know. I just love watching music being created and seeing the process of how they create it. It's just always been an interesting thing to me. Basically, music isn't just music, it's a whole art form. There's a bass, there's a guitar, there's drums, there's sound effects, there's a piano, there's vocals, like there's so much
Cowbell?
there's a cowbell.
Always needs more cowbell.
Yeah.
You're
There's
talking about
just
that
so much
clip
that
with
goes into it.
Christopher Walken?
That old SNL clip, yeah.
He's amazing.
A cowbell.
I love
haven't heard a
Christopher
cowbell.
Walken.
It's with the Don't Fear the Reaper song. There's a little inside joke where it's like, oh, this needs more cowbell. You just never see it. Okay. Well, we got
I'm so
stuff to show
sorry.
you. It's
I feel
okay.
very uninformed.
You are. It's okay.
I'll get there. I'll get there soon. But yeah, music is an art form, and it's so just like refreshing to hear a good song with good instruments, good singing, like
So you're more an instrumental girl or more lyrical and vocals?
all of it. All of it. I will listen to the most badass guitar solo ever, but then I'll also listen to an entire rap verse just full of like hard-hitting lyrics. Like I love it all. I'll even listen to country music. Like I'll listen to any type of music. I feel like even if you don't like it, you have to listen to it and appreciate that like time went into it and they thought out the melody, they thought out the whole thing. I don't know. I know you're not very much of a country boy.
I could be. I
You
used to
could
be
try.
a little bit. But I have so much different music. So.
Yeah, no, I want to listen to everything. I want to listen to all the, even K-pop. Like I feel like K-pop's good.
Yeah, there's
It's definitely not my first thing that I listen to, but it's cool to listen, like experiencing different cultures. Like everyone makes music differently, and it's cool to just hear all types of it. And I also love watching good movies because even though it could be a false reality, there's lessons in those movies as well. So it could be a lesson about love. It could be a lesson about family. It could be a lesson about work. All these movies, there's thousands and thousands of movies in our world, and all of them have a different moral of their story. It's like a book, pretty much, just on a screen form, but they all have a moral, and it's fun to learn from those morals. I love experimenting and learning new things. I have the tendency to pick up a project and then stop it, and then pick up another project and then stop it and never carry on with it. But it's still good to be able to experiment with those things and pick up whatever knowledge I learned from that short amount of time that I did experiment with it. It's just fun to bounce around and see what I love, see what I hate, so I know what I want to actually pursue or do in my life. Yeah.
Obviously, the things that we focus on that we do together, and I kind of stole this from John Dufresne, kineticconsulting.net. He has 2 rules that he lives by, and I love them because they're very simple and simplistic. And the first rule is to learn something, and the first rule is to have fun, and the second rule is to learn something while you're having fun. And obviously what we're doing here in the podcast, and obviously the books and the other things that we're talking about, is to have fun when we're doing it. Because when you have fun, it's easy, it's effortless, you work at it harder, and obviously you want to learn something, and this is something that's very important to you. You want to learn something.
Yeah, that's why
you
I like
want more wisdom.
experimenting, because I could do something and completely hate it and then try another thing and just love it. So you can't just pick one path and then expect to just love it and do that for the rest of your life. You have to kind of bounce around with a bunch of different things. And that's what I'm learning in college right now, is that you can pick a major, but that won't actually be your major for the rest of your college career if you don't actually enjoy it.
your purpose kind of picks you, like we were talking about earlier. It's like the things you naturally love, that you naturally enjoy, that you just do because you feel like doing it. Like we were talking about earlier, some of the things that you just do for fun. It's like those are the things that you're going to work hardest at, that you're going to love, that you're going to enjoy, that you'll obsess over, and you'll become really good at.